tell me about what the plans are today as far as the organisation's concerned.
Thanks, Kay. So thank you for having me on. Just Stop Oil is making an open invitation for any members of the public, anyone watching, to join Trafalgar Square, 12 noon, every day, to march peacefully, non-violently, to demand an end to new oil and gas. This government...
March to where?
Probably towards Parliament. I'm not entirely sure of that information, probably towards Parliament, but the important thing is that ordinary people are resisting the plans of this government to licence more than 100 new fossil fuel projects in the North Sea, oil and gas, when we know the scientists are literally pulling their hair out telling us that we are in out-and-out emergency. We can't do this anymore. You know, everyone knows this. People in this country, by far a majority, want an end to new oil and gas. They want real climate action. The government are the extremists. They are pushing this on people in a very anti-democratic way.
You say that, but Labour has said that the new oil and gas certificates, whatever you want to call them, that have just been issued by this government, they will keep them.
Another reason why we have to keep going. Another reason why we have to keep going, Kay. You know, new oil and gas means certain death for millions and millions of people. It means displacement for billions. It means the collapse of our economy. It means the end to our public services. It means complete societal collapse. I can't really say it any clearer. It's horrors beyond our imagination. And it's irreversible, Kay. It means forever.
I hear you, Zoe, I hear you. But I wonder whether it would be more effective for Just Stop Oil to get public support to have a seat inside Parliament as an MP than being arrested outside Parliament.
We hear these questions very, very often, Kay. And democracy doesn't begin and end at the ballot box, does it? The whole system is rigged. Everyone watching knows that. This government holds us, the citizens, in total contempt. You're seeing that day after day in the COVID inquiry, aren't you? You're seeing that in the fact that 14 million people in this country don't know where their next meal's coming from necessarily, whether they can feed their kids. They hold us in contempt, and they certainly hold young people and people in the Global South in contempt.
I'm not sure it's rigged, though, is it, Zoe?
It's completely rigged. I mean...
Don't we have a democratic election?
It's completely rigged.
In what way?
Well, in many, many ways. This government has accepted only last year alone, the Conservative Party, £3.5 million from oil interests. Rishi Sunak's father-in-law signed up a deal with his big business, I think for millions of quid, with BP.
I don't know the facts of this,
no,
so I'm just
well,
going
you can look
throw
it up.
in
Anyone
allegedly
can watch
right
it.
in
Yeah,
there,
okay.
So, you know.
But please look it up if you're watching. His father-in-law signed a deal with BP and Shell, funnily enough, just before oil licences were licensed.
As I said, I don't know the facts of that. You may well know the facts, and I can't challenge you on it because I don't know, so I'm going to ask you other stuff instead. My point is that when you stop the public going about their everyday business, does that help or hinder your cause? We know that we sometimes cause disruption. We do everything we can to minimise that. We have a very clear blue light policy, etc. That didn't work last week, though, did it? To be fair, sorry. There were ambulances that were stopped last week when they were trying to... You were in the way and they couldn't get to where they needed to go. We understand from Freedom of Information requests that the ambulance service doesn't report any significant delays caused by Just Stop Oil actions. Every single choice at this point in humanity's history has a consequence, doesn't it? Whether you guys or the producers upstairs, the people in your ears, what you choose to show on this screen, how this show covers climate, doesn't cover climate, how you hold those in power to account or not, it all has a consequence. And I guess... let me pick you up on that. You can, but let me pick you up on that. You can't get away with that, Zoe. So we invite you in. You've been invited in 3 times. We have a climate programme, and we used to have a climate programme every day here on Sky News, and we always hold politicians to account. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I know Sky has been doing more than some, and there are a lot worse channels. But I also know, and I discovered the guy called John Riley. I'd never heard of him before. I read an article, in fact, on your own website, Sky News website. He's the former boss of Sky News, apparently. He's been
definitely not apparently, definitely.
Yeah, OK, thank you. I don't know him. I'm guessing you guys know him, and the people upstairs probably know him, the producers and directors and stuff. He was the head of Sky News until April this year. And
actually, but yeah.
OK, thank you. I've never met the guy, but he's on record in the article on your own website saying that news desks are not taking seriously enough their responsibility to alert the public to what is happening.
Where did you read that article?
On your own website.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
There you
but
go.
That's the kind of weird irony, isn't it? Like, news desks are not taking seriously enough their responsibility to report to the public what's happening. The people listening don't understand necessarily, or maybe they do, I hope they do, that their families are at risk. All of their families are at risk. And you know what? The young people who do know this are marching with Just Stop Oil.
And do you know who John Raleigh was talking to? Our climate correspondent.
Yes, Tom Heap, who actually presents the climate show now.
Exactly. So we are trying to do... We're going... some way.
So please, tell all of your listeners, tell all of
We're
your
allowing
audience.
you to do it.
Thank you.
You're allowing you to do it.
Everyone watching, your families are at risk. Your families are at dire, dire risk. It's not just us saying that, it's the world's climate scientists. The Pope is even saying the same thing. He's saying that people need to understand that their families are threatened by new oil and gas. We have to end this.
When you say this demonstration, these series of demonstrations will go on until success, what does that actually look like?
It means ending new oil and gas.
No, but how long might that take?
It takes as long as it takes. But another thing that your lovely audience need to know, Kay, and thank you for the opportunity, it's sincerely appreciated, is that civil resistance, which is what Just Stop Oil is doing, does make a difference. It does cut through. We know that from history, but we also know that from this year. Thousands of people in the Netherlands marched peacefully day after day and blocked the A12 in The Hague for 27 days in a row. 9,000 arrests over 27 days, completely non-violent action. And that forced the police forces to go to the politicians and say, you have to negotiate with these people. They were demanding an end to fossil fuel subsidies, and that's what's happened. So the politicians are going to put proposals forward to end new subsidies. So you all have so much power. Don't let people tell you that this is not the right way to do things. And also, I have to add one more point, please, that this government, this state, the judiciary, are currently locking up teenagers. There are 18 and 19-year-olds in prison right now without trial for peacefully walking on the road because they are desperate for a future. Please, everyone needs to understand that.
They wouldn't be in prison without trial. You mean
they're on remand.
On remand.
They're on remand. That's in a prison cell without trial for walking on a road to try desperately to get their future back from a government that is licensing new oil and gas. So join us, Trafalgar Square, noon, every day, please.
OK, Zoe, thank you for taking the time, as always. I really appreciate it. Thank you.